guys, this has been Ryan. Oh yeah! To have lights and AC going, dream come true. This is what I'm talking about, a mini split. We're gonna cool and heat this building down once and for all.
But before I start, there is some prep work to do.
All right, so this paint is meant for this.
Yes, it is meant for this drywall. It looks like I'm doing nothing, but if you look closely, you could tell I'm rolling it on. I swear I did a whole video on me painting and priming this tiny house, and it looked like nothing. But see, you could tell I'm getting it done. I'm getting it done. I did want to show you guys that you can roll it, but I did buy a little paint gun, and this thing actually worked really well. You might be able to tell here, it doesn't spray a lot, but it does work really well without a lot of overspray and cleanup, so that was great. But here is the paint color I chose. It is called Cinema Screen, like a movie screen. And again, you could barely see it. So imagine watching a whole video where it looks like I'm just rolling a roller, doing nothing. Yeah, looks like nothing. But this is where the fun starts. Yep, thank you, Della, for sending us this mini split. I am over the top excited to have this. It does AC and heat.
All right, so the first thing I need to do is figure out where this template is gonna go, and I want it dead center on the wall. And then also, as you guys can tell, it says distance from ceiling to the paper card edge.
Yeah.
Has to be 8 inches. So let's make sure, I want it as high as possible, but having the 8 inches. So that is 12 inches right there. And then I do know it's gonna come over 16 inches, which would be right here, and 95 is right there. If you go up, that is 9 inches. So we should have plenty of room above to put that mini split up as high as I can, because we do know that the header goes all the way across, and I'd like to hit it into the header. So I did mark the center and the top, and then over here where the edge of it's gonna be in the top, so I can line these up where that should hit that, and then the top should hit there, and then paint that real quick. See what that looks like. 2. That's 9 inches, and that is well above 8 inches, so we're good. Now I need to drill right through the middle, and I'm gonna take my drill, which is covered in drywall mud, and it has this middle part right here that's a drill bit, and I'm gonna put it right in the center and start drilling that hole. See if it made a mark, which I'm pretty sure it did. Cool. So I do know the center will be there, and then I probably need to go ahead and pop a screw there, and then pull this off. All right, so now I can back these screws out. And I should be able to take this down, and then now I can drill my hole through there. And I cannot lie, I am terrified to do this. I did measure to make sure there's no stud behind there. Oh, please don't let there be. There isn't, thank goodness. So I need to kind of drill through this insulation, and then put a hole on the outside so I can drill a hole on the outside of the building. Alright, got that all moved. So you're supposed to drill the hole on the outside, I think a 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch down. I'm gonna check real quick before I do it. That way when the hose goes through, it has room to drain. It has a slope. So I'm going to go ahead and put this through, and then I'm gonna bring it down just a hair, and I'm gonna drill through the outside. Oh, Kind of terrified to do this, but you just gotta do it. Alright, it almost went all the way through, but I can see light, so I can go on the outside and finish the job. So as you guys can see, I did not finish the side of the wall because I didn't know where I was going to drill out, and I didn't want it to look weird, and I need to mount the system out here. So that is why it's not finished. Alright guys, so that was the scariest part of this whole thing. I did not want to do. I was terrified to do that, but it's done. The deed is done. So let's go ahead and mount this. And then we need to get that outside sealed up. I don't think it's gonna rain anytime soon, but I am not gonna take the chance. All right, so now we gotta take the main unit that's gonna be inside, turn it around, and we need to take this bracket off. So it's gonna push down, try to pop it out. There we go. And now we're gonna mount this bracket on the wall. So I'm gonna throw in a few extra screws and get that really good, and then we can mount this up and put the hoses and everything through this hole. I can't believe I just put a hole in the tiny house I just spent so much time working on. All right, so this is the main unit, and this part is the top, and then this is what you'll see from the inside of the house. And then here on the back, what we're going to do is we are going to slowly turn all of this whole handful real slow and make sure we don't want to kink anything up. We just want to turn it just enough and go real slow to where it'll be straight out. All right, and then now this will go out the wall. All right, before that, I almost forgot, we need to take this plastic off, which I would love to keep it on there, but I need to open this. And we need to run our electric. So hopefully you'll be able to see good. Let's pop this sucker off. Take that cover off, and we need to run our wire from the back up here to the front, under here, and then they're all marked exactly how we need it to be plugged in. So we're gonna go ahead and get our wire here, and we're gonna run it through that little hole, and then through the front. So we have all the wires. I need to take this part off. It's just gonna be a clamp to hold the wire in place. And then on each one of these, they are labeled 1, 2, 3, and then you have your green ground, and it's 1, 2, 3 green ground. So it's pretty easy to do. All right. So I think you guys can see that. I just did 1, 2, 3, and then the ground. So let's go ahead and put this little piece back on here. There we go. Throw this back on there. Perfect. All right, so let's flip this around. And then what we're gonna do is, we already have these in there really good. We're gonna keep those together. We're gonna make sure this drain stays on the bottom, and then we're gonna wrap this up all together, keeping the drain on the bottom. And then they gave you this tape. Alright, so now what we're going to do, I'm going to try to get this power cable through there. Alright, so now try your best not to kink any of this up, just go straight through the wall. Luckily this is fairly light. So we are going to straight through there. So we got that through the wall. Now we gotta mount this on the back. Try to get it right where it needs to be. All right, that's over the clips. And then push down. And that is on there. Whether we want it or not, it's hopefully straight. Holy cow, I just can't believe I just put that mini split in. I still got a lot more work to do on the outside and everything, but that was very, very easy. I watched a bunch of videos. Kelley's Outdoor Living channel. I can't remember the name of the channel. I'm terrible with names, but the dude is awesome. He's done a lot of stuff that I've really liked. And I watched his video, and he made it very easy to understand. So if you're confused here, go watch his. I'll link it down in the description in the top comment. But that is awesome. So let's wrap up this install, get some power to it, and get some AC going. All right, now we're on the outside, and I have the brackets that mount it on there, and I went ahead and marked where my studs are at, and where the studs are at is pretty much where our battens are gonna go. So again, that's why I did not do this, but we have it lined up right here. And what I'm gonna do is try to do wherever the bottom board's gonna go, I'm gonna try to go up just enough and keep it even. All right, we got that one on there good. So now we have the other one marked right here. Then we need to measure the same distance up. Now before we get any further, let's make sure it fits where it should fit. So that lines up good, and this one lines up pretty straight, so I think we're set. Alright, so it gave us these bolts and these spacers. Alright, so now it came with a sleeve and a little face plate, and I'm going to run this long wire through it. And then slide that tube up in there. We're gonna take our drainage, go ahead and plug it in here. You just push it on, fairly simple, and then that'll go down. Now you have both of these hoses that you gotta be real careful with. They're copper, you don't wanna bend and kink them up. So you wanna unroll them, and then we're going to attach them up here. Because it was pressured up already, probably tested. And then now we're going to just unroll this the best we can. You don't want to kink it. When you put these together, pull that out. You don't want to over tighten it. You just want to do it tight enough because you'll strip it. So we're going to hand tighten it. And then when it gets to this point, we want to make sure the small one we hold and we do not turn at all. We're only going to turn the big one. You don't want to overdo it. And now we're going to do the same thing to the small one. And tighten. And there are certain specs you need to tighten that to. So do your homework. We're going to get all these and wrap them together. So now you want to be very careful and just slowly bend it down where you want it. You don't want to kink it all up. That should probably work. That way when we put our cap on, it should cover everything. So now we're going to work our way down here. I'm going to take this part off. Try not to lose these screws. Alright. So now, let's remove this. And then remove these caps. So we're going to take the parts that we have left. You can cut them down to size. I'm not doing that. I just rather put them back here and call it a day rather than potentially mess something up by cutting it and it not sealing correct. So let me get this situated. Now you can't get these wrong because it's two different sizes, so just match up the size. The big one on the top, do not over tighten. Now the same thing for the small one on the bottom. Go ahead and tighten these down to spec. Alright, so these are good now. Alright, so now let's take this cap off. Clearly it's for the power. And we are going to run these wires through the left side. And then it's very simple again. They're all coded 1, 2, 3, and then ground. Ground will go there. 1, 2, 3. The ground has an actual loop on it, so we're going to stick it underneath the screw. You do not want to over tighten this. So now we'll start with 3. You don't have to do it all the way. Just slide it up underneath, behind the plate. Do the same thing for 1 and 2. And then you got this little piece right here that you could wrap around. Alright. And full disclosure, these wires that I'm plugging in up here, I'm hooking to a generator. I would not recommend this. It's just what I have to do because I don't have power to my building yet. And once you have that done, go ahead and slide this cap back up, screw it on. Alright, I'm not even going to act like I halfway know what I was doing with this pump and the gauges and everything. I had to watch the video that I watched earlier, the Kelley Country Life. I think that's the channel name. I'm going to link it because you guys got to say thank you to him. Seriously, go comment on his video and say thank you for helping the Crockers, because there's no way I would have figured this out. And it started steaming out of this part here, and I would have freaked out if I turned it on and that happened. So thank you to him. We've kind of talked back and forth on YouTube a little bit here and there over the years. So tell him thank you, but I need to turn this on, and we got to hit certain numbers, and this has to run for about 20 minutes. And what this is going to do is pull out all the air and get a good vacuum. Alright guys, this has been running for 20 minutes. So we're going to cut that off, and we're going to turn this, and we're going to hope this doesn't leak. Hopefully it'll stay at 29,899 the whole time. We gotta let it sit for a couple of minutes, make sure there's no leaks. We'll put soapy water on all the joints and then even up there. And then if it holds, then we're good, and we'll take all this off. And earlier, I had to take a valve stem out of here, and I never would have known any of that stuff. It was kind of confusing. So again, go watch Kelley's Country Living, and I think I got it figured out. So we are very, very close to having AC, and I couldn't be any more grateful because it is a hot day. All right, I think we're good to go. So I'm going to take this off. I'm going to keep this closed right here, and I'm going to undo this. Let's put this valve stem back in there and screw this on. Have to open this. We could push it all the way back in and screw it in. Alright, that valve stem should be all the way in there. And then now, we should be able to take this off, and it's going to hold pressure. So, let's go ahead and put this cap back on. Not too tight though. Then we're going to take these caps off. So now that I got everything off, the top one, we're going to turn just a little bit, just a quarter turn, and we're going to let the refrigerant go into the machine. 2, 3, 4, 5, and we'll turn it off. Not too crazy or anything. And then now we're going to put some soapy water in everything. Let's make sure nothing is leaking. You can get a spray bottle. I just don't have one, so I got soapy water. I'm kind of just put it on everything. You should be able to tell if anything is leaking. It should bubble up, which it's not. So I think we are good. Alright, so I checked. I actually cut it open up there, checked up there and here. There's nothing, so I'm going to open up this one. all the way until it stops, and then you don't want to keep going. Just once it hits that stopping point, just stop. You'll feel it, and then right there, and then we're gonna go ahead and open the bottom one. That should let a bunch of pressure. And then now at this point, we should be able to turn on power and have some AC, and then we can wrap all this up. But oh, please work. All right, I got my remote, which is a thermostat. Let's turn the power on and see if it'll kick on. Oh, yeah! Look at that. We got power. Oh, it is blowing out. This is so cool. All right. Oh my gosh, it's already blowing out air. 64, 63. And then, let's see, the fan. Oh, I don't know if you'll be able to hear it because I have the generator running, but you can see this flat going up and down, and it is pushing air out. Oh my gosh. Oh, this is amazing. And I have it set to 61. I think it's the lowest it'll go, and it already feels really good. This is a dream come true. Dream come true. Woo! I really like this feature right here because it'll kind of push the air down and up, and then right here we'll have a fan that will circulate and help push the air as well. So I need to get a, I guess on here it'll tell me how cool it gets. I just can't even think straight, I'm so happy.
So I ended up buttoning it up the outside. I sealed this up so it would be watertight, and then I put this putty stuff to keep the bugs out. That came with it, and then I put the cover on. It was very simple. I mean, this was way easier than you could ever think. Just put it where you want it, throw some screws in, it snaps together, and it is very simple. Again, this whole process was a very easy installation when I truly never thought I'd be able to do a mini split on my own. But look at that. That's what I'm talking about.
All right, guys, so massive shout out to Della for sending me that product. They sent it to a lot of YouTubers, so if you think my video was too easy or too hard, there's a lot, like I said, Kelley's Outdoor Life Living. I can't remember, I'm butchering it and I feel bad, but go check it out again. Oh, it feels so good in here. I'm sweating my butt off from outside, but it does show how much of an energy saver it really is and stuff. It is just over the top, something that I have been so excited to do and very, very nervous, and now I feel confident to do more of these. And you can tell I got light up there on the ceiling. I rigged up a switch to my lights. It is running off of power, but not directly into the house. I have an extension cord into the lights so I can just unplug them. But to have lights and an AC going, and drywall, and the it's all primed up, looks painted. That wall is somewhat painted. Whew. Just a dream come true. All right, guys, well, I hope you enjoyed the video. Oh, this is one of the coolest, no pun intended, videos that I've done in a very long time. I am just so happy that I can work in here in a cool environment. It says it's 79 right now. It's gonna start cooling down after a while. You gotta think, it's one mini split in the moment doing all this, and it just started. So, oh, very happy with this. Again, Della, thank you. And thank you to all the YouTubers that I watched their videos. I'm telling y'all, YouTubers, it's the way to go. I don't know if I'm a little biased, but they're pretty cool in my book. So, got that. I am just beyond happy. And I cannot wait until you guys can see the full kitchen living room done.